clear. A lot of guesswork still going on. One insider has this, one insider has that. Guys that you typically believe have good info or good intel, copy and paste the report that they had the week prior or the week before that. So here's what we can kind of tell you as we get into the weekend. 3 SEC West teams ahead of the Aggies. If you're looking at standings, you're ranked higher than Mississippi State, but you did lose to them and you lost to Arkansas. So we'll speculate a little bit and add some wrinkles to who and maybe what matchup is out there that intrigues you most. We'll kind of go through those this morning on the Go Hour with my good buddy, Olin Buchanan. OB, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thank you.
So we've done it for now a couple of weeks, but here over the next couple of days, we will know who and where the Aggies are playing. I'm going to read you a quote that I found this morning from Steve Hogan. Are you familiar with Steve Hogan?
No.
He's Hulk Hogan's son. No, he's actually the CEO of the Citrus Bowl.
Oh, okay.
All right? And he goes, we want to reward the deserving team first. We want some discussions to be held. If it's not entirely clear, we just want to make sure that we have all the data points, that we are attentive to the position we have on top of the selection line. That's why it's taking a little longer. He also says you can't lose with Kentucky, Arkansas, or Texas A&M. I got that out of the Louisville Courier. So not that I think they're going to end up in the Citrus Bowl, but I can make an argument why they could end up in the Citrus Bowl. And the argument is Kentucky played there recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Arkansas could be attractive to them. Could be, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A&M already played in Jacksonville 3 years ago. So if it's between the Citrus Bowl, the Outback Bowl, and the Gator Bowl for A&M, which is what I think most bowl projections have, you can make a little argument for A&M, although I don't believe that to be the case to go there. I think, and I wrote down all of the latest bowl projections, some of them updated here in the last 24 hours, and most of them are pointing one way, and that obviously not being the Citrus Bowl.
Well, I could see them taking A&M over Kentucky, and I think it'd be easy to justify it.
Mm-hmm.
Just the amount of good teams you play. I don't see how, if you look at it objectively, you could justify taking A&M over Arkansas. Same record.
They travel good.
They travel well. Probably not as well as A&M, but they do. And they beat A&M.
But they might be, this is the first year in a couple years for them to be as relevant as they were, that maybe their fan base is a little bit more jazzed up for it.
Yeah, that's why I would think absolutely. So their fan base might travel anywhere.
Yep.
But I'll put it this way. I hope it's the Citrus Bowl for A&M. If I was an Arkansas fan, I would be extremely frustrated and angry if it wasn't Arkansas.
So if Arkansas ends up at the Citrus Bowl,
Uh-huh.
the Outback Bowl then, see, to me, the best chance for A&M would be if they look at the bowls as equal outside of the Citrus Bowl, then the best bet for A&M would be for Kentucky to hit the Citrus Bowl, and then the Outback Bowl just prefer the A&M brand and fans. That would be, because especially since they've already played in the Gator Bowl.
Yeah, I would think the Outback Bowl would be interested in A&M if they can pull it off, they can justify it, all those things, and I think though the Citrus Bowl is somehow considered more prestigious, and if you're bringing a family, it's a more attractive destination.
Yep.
But if you like the beach, you would be more interested in Tampa. There's no beach in Tampa, but Clearwater has a nice beach, and it's just right outside. Orlando's in the middle of the state. You have to drive. I guess the closest beach would be Daytona, and it's kind of run downtown.
I have not been there in a while. It's been a minute. So let me go through some of these that are out there. And this has changed a little bit since Monday, and I think some people just copy and paste. I really do. I don't think they're really giving it that much thought. CBS has got the Citrus Bowl for Texas A&M. this is updated today, versus Iowa.
I'd love it.
I'd love it too. I think that's actually the most intriguing matchup to me because I think they're a nicely ranked Big Ten team that we would handle.
I think, and I've always said that you think, you have to be a fully vested SEC team, you have to beat a Big Ten team in a bowl game. That'd give you that opportunity.
And now it's all about the Gator Bowl for a lot of these, okay? So Brett McMurphy of the Action Network says A&M, which I guess you can take the opposite here, is going to be in Jacksonville on December 31st versus Wake Forest. It says here Action would have A&M favored by 5.
Interesting that Wake Forest is playing in the ACC championship game, and they would obviously he's projecting that they would lose to Pitt,
right?
And I can see that, but they fall all the way
to the Gator Bowl. This is what he
has, or maybe that's I don't know how the
tier.
ACC does things.
Yeah,
maybe that's the next one for the ACC.
All right, Yahoo also has A&M in the Gator Bowl, and also taking on Wake Forest.
A rematch from the Belk Bowl a few years ago.
Again, I tell you, there's a lot of Gator Bowls. College Football News has the Gator Bowl. Texas A&M versus?
Wake Forest.
Correct. SI has A&M playing in the?
Gator Bowl.
Versus who?
Wake Forest.
ESPN's Mark Schlabach.
Okay, now this is the guy, Schlabach is a guy that I actually respect, and I think he's very connected.
He's got A&M playing Clemson in the
Gator Bowl.
Citrus Bowl.
Citrus Bowl.
Now, that's one of those that I don't think he's updated his thing since before the game. Like, it just comes across that way because that's what he had before the LSU game.
Yeah, but that's not who Schlabach is.
Okay.
I don't know if he's right, but I guarantee you.
He's got some intel?
I would think so, but he's just, I know him. He's not the guy that's just going to copy and paste each week.
Okay. All right. And then there's going to be one more. Are you familiar with Bonagura?
I don't like him.
Okay. I don't know him, but he's got A&M versus?
Wake Forest.
Iowa.
Okay.
Yeah. A&M versus Iowa.
Is he also in the Citrus, or is he in the Outback?
Outback Bowl.
Outback.
Sorry.
Everybody seems to think A&M's going to Florida. And I like that because I like Florida.
I love Florida. And look, we talked a little bit about this on the fan show. I'll bring it up to you. To me, there's two Davids when it comes to the bowl season. There's David who just wants a win. Give me the easiest. Since we're not playing in a prestigious New Year's 6 playoff match, can I just get the 9th win? Just give me the 9th win. Then there's David that says, you know what? I want to see a matchup. I want to see A&M versus a team that's going to be a good matchup, and we can see how these young players come out and play. So there's two. I lean towards the 9th win. Give me the easiest matchup possible since the bowl game isn't that prestigious at this point. But am I scared of Clemson? I'm not scared of Clemson. I think that would be a tough matchup for A&M, but bring it. Wake Forest, I think A&M can win. I worry about their speed, but as you've brought up to me many times, you can score on them too. We could be quarterback and score on Wake Forest.
I think it was Army or somebody like that scored 50 points on them. Somebody like that,
yeah.
Of that ilk. So, I think A&M would score on them a lot.
I hope so.
But I have to admit, I look for the best trip for me. And
right.
I want to be warm. I don't ever want to be in that cold Memphis Liberty Bowl press box again. I want to be warm. I want to enjoy my time off. And I'm going to enjoy it if it's in Florida.
Yeah, it'll be a little better.
I actually enjoyed the Belk Bowl up in Charlotte, but it was so cold. So, give me a Florida Bowl.
I typically let Tomas Romo read this, but I'm going to read this text real quick from the A&B text line that, to me, kind of hits this topic a little bit, guys. And it says, from David Edmond, please check out our Gator Bowl season. We finished second in the SEC West. We beat Kentucky and LSU, and both of them went to much better bowls. We got screwed, and nobody cared.
It's true. And so, that's a valid point. And so, if A&M ends up in the Citrus Bowl, somebody's going to feel like they got screwed, and nobody's going to care.
Nobody's going to care. Let's go around the room and say hello and say hi to Dalton Hughes. He is what we call our director. Good morning, Dalton.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Good, man. What's on your world?
I'm just in the middle of signing day. To be honest, I'm not worried about the bowls. That's not what they pay me to worry about.
What do they pay you to worry about, Dalton? I was curious about that.
I've been asking myself the same question, but yeah, I'm knee-deep in signing day graphics and highlights and stuff. We got a 4-hour show coming up December 15th.
Yes, we do. It's going to be a fun one. An early one, right? We start that one at 7 a.m. Is that right, Dalton?
Yes, we do.
Okay, sorry.
Do you need me to wake you up earlier that day, or?
No, I wake up early.
Okay.
I wake up pretty early.
So who's gonna wake me up? Because that's a problem.
You are a professional.
Probably Richard.
Sadly.
Because we'll be coming home late from a night out of partying.
Probably.
I
You
can see
know,
that.
there's a joke that we used to do Creed alarm clocks. We have speakers in the house that you can get into in any room from, and may have to do some Creed bomb alarms at about 4:30.
And that'll be right in the middle of Hanukkah, right?
No.
No.
No?
No.
It'll be after Hanukkah?
He told me Hanukkah ends this week.
Yeah, I didn't know
Oh,
that.
so I didn't know.
I wasn't
Okay.
familiar with that.
I'm ignorant on Hanukkah.
But you know what? We can celebrate with Richard anytime he wants.
You could have just stopped at ignorant.
Yep, we could have. And let's go to Tomas Romo at the News and Social Center. Good morning, Tomas.
Good morning, guys. How y'all doing this morning?
I think I'm okay.
Well, yeah. for
You know,
Friday.
are you actually asking, or are you just...
No, I'm asking.
Oh,
It's
what-
Friday.
Actually,
you got to
no.
be happy on a Friday.
I didn't sleep great last night, but I'm okay. Thank you for asking. That's very kind of you to ask. Thank
Good.
you.
I'm glad.
Appreciate that.
I got 2 headlines for y'all. First off, track and field opens season at Woo Pig Classic. Texas A&M is slated to compete against nearly a dozen teams, including Arkansas, Oklahoma State, TCU, and Texas.
Excited. I don't think I knew they started early. I don't know if I realized this early.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
So, cool.
What
Is that, I assume that's indoor?
Outdoor.
It's outdoor. Did he say outdoor?
Did you say outdoor? Or did you...
I believe it is I believe it's
God, we're-
indoor. I believe it's
No, indoor. Sorry.
Indoor,
We,
yeah.
are
I
not
believe
smart
it's
people
indoor.
here on this
Yeah, I
show.
thought
No,
that.
none of us are. No, we apologize. Coach Henry. What else you got for us, Tomas?
Number 18 Aggies travel to Incarnate Word Friday. The maroon and white swim team are coming off a second place finish at the Art Adamson Invitational and look to capitalize on the recent success.
Yeah, let's go get it. By the way, I don't know if you want to stick around. Coach Gary Blair coming by later, 9:05. He'll be in studio. I know you're a big rugby guy. James Lowry, Texas A&M rugby coach, going to stop by around 9:20. Tyler Milner, who's a host and a producer there in Houston for Sports Radio 610, also an Aggie, going to talk some college football with us here at 9:35. And then Billy Lucci, somehow we were able to get him on the show. 10 a.m., he'll be with us. Brandon Leone in town for a meeting, says he's stopping by.
Good. It's always good to see Brandon. By the way, I'm going to throw one more A&M sport event for the weekend at you.
Bring it.
My brother, my older brother, is coming down from Mesquite to see his grandson play hockey for Baylor against Texas A&M
All right.
this weekend at the, what's it called? I forgot what the ice rink here is called.
But you're going to be there, I assume.
I'm not.
You're not going to make an appearance.
No, I'm going
I
to go.
put you on the spot, sorry.
No, but I'm going to go by there and try to buy the tickets for my brother.
Okay.
But yeah, his grandson plays for Baylor. I don't know how that worked out where, part of the family started going to Baylor, but it did.
Hey, and playing hockey, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So
Hey, so we have the topic out there if you want to be part of the discussion. Which bowl projection matchup intrigues you the most? You can text us on the A&B text line, A&B, a College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank, Good Texas Banking, website amb.com, 979-693-1150. Also, we can take your calls, too. We don't just have to have that topic. We can talk about anything else on the BCSI hotline, 979-693-1150. Right now, though, talk about my buddy Chance McClain and Heritage Films and the documentary films that they make about you. If you're watching there on TexAgs.com or on YouTube or on the CW or you're listening around the wonderful Bryan College Station area, just know that they're on the zone. Just know that Chance has got you guys. He's going to tell your story. He's going to tell your dad's story. He's going to tell your boss's story. He's going to tell the story from beginning to end. He's going to light it. He's going to do the interviews. He's going to bring a Netflix-style documentary for you. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, why would I want a documentary? Well, it's not necessarily for you. It can be for you. Why not? I'd watch a story about me. Olin's going to watch his, the musical. But think about this. I can see the Olin, the musical. Can you?
no.
All right, let me get back on track. That being said, have it done by Chance, who does amazing work. Hollywood movies. He's done, musicals, you name it, he does it all. Check it out at yourheritagefilm.com. Yourheritagefilm.com. 713-893-8341. 713-893-8341.
Your home for Texas A&M baseball is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
The end of the tax year is near, so if you need maintenance or replacement parts for your construction equipment, WPI has you covered. Regardless of your machine's make or model, WPI can help. From custom hydraulic hoses, O-rings, and depth to teeth, buckets, and blades. Any part, filter, fluid, battery, or lighting for every brand of equipment is at your local WPI. Visit Jesse James at WPI's new location in Bryan, Highway 21 East at Marino Road, or click WPI.com.
The George Bush Presidential Library and Museum is excited to welcome you back. In addition to the permanent galleries, we have some new temporary exhibits. With Texas Sea Grant 50 Years of Science and Stewardship, we're celebrating the many accomplishments of the Texas Sea Grant program at Texas A&M. You can also explore Oceans of Plastic, an art collection of plastic trash collected from Texas beaches, and learn more about George Bush, an environmental president. Visit bush41.org to purchase tickets or for more information.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Prosperity Bank, Hargrove Insurance, and Rudy's Barbecue. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
Smitty K's, M&M Apparel, Fajita Peeps, Latino Hand Car Wash. Visit AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Patriots wide receiver Jacoby Myers joins us right now.
Good morning, fellas.
Man, wake up, man.
I'm up, man. Come on, now. You know we be here early.
You
sound like you're up, Jacoby. Don't let him do that to you this morning.
Yo ass.
Right, man.
You done got big time now. You can't. You stop communicating. You can't call me back. You just. But I get it.
Man, stop. You know you ain't call me, man. Come on now.
I did text you.
Get him, Jacoby. Get him.
When?
Man, I just texted you 2 weeks ago.
You gonna hit him up for dinner now, Keith?
And we was.
No,
and he said, "I'm gonna get you on the show." I'm like, "All right, bet."
No,
and
that was,
never called me back.
Man, that was a month. That was 2 months ago. And then when I called, then when I text you, not even about the show, text you about a route you ran and a ball you dropped, you did not respond.
Oh, I mean,
well, that's probably why.
No, but you know, but you know.
Mornings 5 to 8 on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Powered by WC Tractor.
Little Pick Six time. Welcome back. TexAgs Radio. Presented by Dave Garner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Appreciate everybody chiming in. Let's go to the A&B text line real quick and read this one from Peruna in College Station. Orlando has the theme parks. Obviously, great nightlife and restaurants, and it is 1 hour away from Titusville Seafood and Beaches. Go to Smyrna Beach, not Daytona. Tampa has beaches and Clearwater. Great Cuban food, which, by the way, speaks to me. And Ybor City cigars. Florida is a hoot.
I agree with all those things. I guess we went to Daytona when we were in Orlando. And, I mean, there was water. It's kind of old and run down as a town. But Titusville, okay, fine. But if you're in Tampa, I mean, you're talking much closer. And Clearwater's a nice town.
Can confirm Smyrna's a nice, cool little town.
Yeah? Would you guys like to hear a quick story of my last time in Tampa?
Yes.
No, I'm good.
1999.
This sounds like a spring break story.
Nope, not even. A little more embarrassing. I interviewed with the Home Shopping Network, ladies and gentlemen. They flew me out there. They had a sports show. I forget the name of it. And it was kind of like a sports talk show, but they would sell things on the show as well.
Okay.
And I didn't have any TV experience. I was working, I believe, at the bank at that point for Chase Bank. And I made a resume tape with a VCR or like a recorder from back in the day in my parents' living room where the dog barked every third time. And I would get totally frustrated. I think my parents still have the tape. We got to find it. But it was a disaster. And somehow the Home Shopping Network, I didn't know it was. I thought it was like a different channel. I'd seen an opening for a show, sports talk, blah, blah, blah. And they flew me out to that compound there, I guess in St. Pete, I guess it is, where it is. And I did a fake show there, I didn't get the gig. I certainly wasn't ready for it, but and I wasn't. I could see my having to sell cubic zirconian. Hey, you have 1 hour shift on the sports show, but you got to sell this awesome jewelry from Brooke Shields. So I didn't end up getting that job. This could have been a different show had that happened.
Sometimes you're very fortunate when you look back at the jobs you didn't get.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell it, but I have a similar story. It had nothing to do with a Home Shopping Network, but a newspaper that if I had gotten the job, my career probably wouldn't have taken the path I wanted it to. So
it all happens to us. There's been a couple jobs in my life that I did not get that I was really bummed. That was not one of them. I just wanted my foot in the door in the media, right? And I was like, okay, whatever, I'll sell a watch. But there have been jobs. There's one that I actually didn't want. I won't tell you the network, but there's a big sports network out there that I did not get, that I actually didn't want when I got the interview. And how
I wouldn't want to work for ESPN either.
I didn't say that.
Okay. I know you didn't.
Maybe it was a place at Bristol, Connecticut. Maybe they flew me out there.
I wouldn't want to work there either.
And apparently everybody gets an interview there. It's not just, I thought it was a big deal. And then I talked to all these people that I think that I'm better at that broadcasting. Ones, oh yeah, we got that interview too. What? You too? All right, let's get into our pick six.
All right. Man, I had a miserable week last week. I'm like the Texas Longhorns of picking. I get off to a good start and then I fall apart.
You're in first place.
I went 1-5 last week.
I think I did too. And this week, and by the way, I went from second place a month ago to tied for last with Billy Lavernius Lucci.
I really respect the fact that his parents put Lavernius as his middle name.
Yeah, I think I don't know if a lot of people know that. Pick six. We start off with the SEC championship. You've got number 1 Georgia, 12-0, 8-0 in the SEC versus number 3 Alabama, 11-1. 7-1 in the SEC. That is a 3:00 start there in Atlanta. CBS broadcast, Georgia favored by 6.5.
I'm going to take Georgia.
Okay.
I think it's going to be hard to score on them, and they're just playing such good defense, and Alabama's defense is somewhat suspect, I think.
So I'm going to tell you the truth. I thought I wrote down on my paper Georgia. I wrote down Alabama. And maybe that's because I'm so used to writing down Alabama every time they play. But because I wrote it down, I'm not changing.
Really?
Taking Alabama.
You can change it.
No. I wrote it. Once it's been written down.
It's not in stone until you actually say
I really
it on
think
the radio.
I think Georgia's going to win. But
then take Georgia.
I feel like let's get a vote. Dalton, am I allowed to change it at this point?
You're allowed to change it, but I kind of ride the gut thing, right?
No, that's not my gut is Georgia's going to win. Last week, my gut was Alabama was going to win.
Okay, ride the mistake.
All right, I'm going with Alabama. I'm already in last place. It doesn't matter.
George Costanza thing.
Yeah.
Just whatever you think, just go
in the fight for last, you go with your first inkling.
All right.
It was right or wrong what you wrote down.
Going with Alabama. Jamison Williams is going to make a huge difference. There you go. They're going to have an offense, and Bryce Young is better than Stetson Bennett. Let's go, Alabama.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Alabama wins.
I think they've won the last 3 against them, and they've won it for 15 years ago. It's the last time Georgia won.
I covered that game. Went into overtime.
I know we're up for a break. How about we do this? We hold it right there. I'm picking Alabama. We'll come back. We'll go rest through the rest of the pick six. But right now, a moment for the Association of Former Students. Dalton upset with me because now he's got to edit, and he's like, I take out that Alabama part. But there's no editing when it comes to the Association of Former Students. Great people over there, 140 years. They've been in support of that Aggie Network from day one, and all they want to do is give back, and they need your help to give back, and they give to everyone. But they need your help, guys. We're talking about $125,000 to student organizations, the Warrior Scholar Project, ROTC departments out there, Ross Volunteer Company, support of the MSC. I can go on and on till the break of dawn. But, of course, none of that is possible without you helping them out. And it's very simple to become a Century Club member. We're talking $100 a year, roughly $9 a month. You get the decal, the plaque, the Texas Aggie magazine. Plus, you're continuing in the oldest, most inspiring tradition of Aggies helping other Aggies out there. To learn more about the impact of the association, make a gift, or get involved, visit aggienetwork.com/giving.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. Kick off your holiday season by coming to watch the Bryan High Viking Theater perform their annual radio show. Performances are Thursday through Saturday. Find showtimes and purchase your tickets at bhsvikingtheater.com. The Brazos County ESD #1 Board of Commissioners and the South Brazos County Fire Department invite you to a recognition ceremony of Jim Carroll for his donation of the land for Fire Station #4 this Saturday morning at 10. Every Saturday, the Arts Council of Brazos Valley is hosting ornament decorating parties from 1 to 4 p.m. Visit their website for more information. After a year like no other, you can be part of a new beginning for girls when you volunteer with Girl Scouts. Learn more at gsctx.org/volunteer. Listen to your favorite shows, TexAgs, Louis Bellina, Chip, and Paul Feinbaum. Listen to your favorite teams, A&M football, basketball, and baseball. Listen to them online at radioaggieland.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Hi, it's Jenny from your local Big Deal store. This holiday season, give a gift your friends and family will love and use. Big Deal's gift certificates spend like cash, and best of all, you're supporting local businesses. At our Big Deal store, you'll find all kinds of businesses, from restaurants to entertainment to car care. So head over to our website and start stuffing those stockings.
Save big this holiday season at AggielandBigDeals.com.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Kasasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Kasasa or visit ANB.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Holiday sparkle starts at Montelongo's Fine Jewelry. The Montelongo's Fine Jewelry family has been helping people select the perfect gift for over 30 years, and they want to be your jeweler this holiday season. Let Montelongo's help you find a dazzling gift from their incredible selection that's in stock and ready to be wrapped. Decide joy. Decide to give. Decide Montelongo's. Bring home a little sparkle with a gift from Montelongo's Fine Jewelry that's sure to make your loved one's Christmas shine. Visit their showroom on University Drive, and Merry Christmas from the Montelongo family to yours.
From opening night to Super Bowl 56, don't miss a second of the NFL's biggest season ever. Hi, this is Kurt Warner of Westwood One. Join our crew each week for the best primetime NFL action. Thursday, Sunday, and of course, Monday Night Football. Listen to the NFL's brightest stars on Westwood One, the exclusive radio home for every primetime NFL game. Right here
on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, The Zone.
Hey, 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 mama, look at that sip out in the backyard. Say it like this. Hey, 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 hey. Look at little sister.
No. It was.
Well, I believe it's Stevie Ray Vaughan.
That's what I was going to predict.
Yeah.
But I don't get credit for it. In my head, I was like, I don't want to sound like an idiot. I'd rather sound like an idiot by not speaking. I thought it was Stevie Ray. Hey, it's TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We will get to some of your text messages on the A&B text line and also on the BCSI hotline here momentarily. But we're continuing our Pick 6. In the first one we talked about was the Alabama-Georgia game, and I accidentally wrote down that I think Alabama's going to win, even though my gut tells me that Georgia's going to win. We had a discussion about it, and I've decided to stick with what I wrote down. And I read on TexAgs.com, somebody on the live forum said, once you say it, it is what it is. It's yours. So I'm staying with it. And I do want to kind of talk about this game just a tad bit more. Kirby is 0-3 against Nick Saban. Georgia has not beat them in 14 years. And how many times has Georgia had a chance to win the game? I think the most recent, not the most recent, but a couple years back, we all remember the fake punt.
Yeah.
It said 4 minutes left in the game, 4th and 11 midfield,
And you bring in Justin Fields.
You bring him in.
Who never is on the punting team.
Right.
So if you're Alabama, you're like, wait a minute, something must be up. Why is, on 4th and 11, why is Justin Fields coming out here?
4th and 1, maybe. Not against Bama, but maybe. 4th and 11, midfield, you give them the victory.
Yeah, they did.
I saw a note. Let me see if I can find it. That, they've had in the 3 games that they have played against Alabama since Kirby Smart took over, 3 second-half leads, 3 losses, 0. Let me say it again, 0 fourth-quarter points.
Yeah, I can remember watching one of I think it was that national championship game. They got into the 4th quarter and it looked like they were just trying to hang on.
Yeah.
Instead of like, all right, now let's go win it. Let's just see if we can hang on. Kind of how it struck me.
Yeah, I agree. All right, we'll move on to the second game on our Pick 6, the Big 12. We've got number 9 Baylor, 10-2, 7-2 in the Big 12 versus Oklahoma State, 11-1. What a year for Mike Gundy. 8-1 in the Big 12, 11 a.m. in Arlington. ABC broadcast. Oklahoma State is favored by 5.5.
Who won that game in the regular season? I've already forgotten.
I have too. Who did Oklahoma State lose? They lost to it. No, I think Oklahoma State must have won because I think they lost a bad game this year.
Yeah, Oklahoma State won the original matchup.
I don't know who to pick in that game. I guess I'll take Oklahoma State.
I'm taking Oklahoma State as well. I'm looking at their schedule right here. Okay, they beat Virginia 24-3. They beat Texas Tech 23-0. They beat TCU 63-17. Kansas 55-3. They did squeak by Texas 32-24. They beat Baylor 24-14. I'm trying to find their loss. Their loss came to
West Virginia.
Why am I not seeing it? Regardless, they have a loss this year. They beat Tulsa. They beat Missouri State. They barely beat Boise State, by the way.
Barely beat Boise. Boise had to miss a field goal.
21-20. They did beat Kansas State. They beat Baylor, as I mentioned. They beat Texas.
They lost to Iowa State.
There we go. Iowa State.
You don't just go to Jack Trice Stadium and win.
No.
Iowa State's the team that cost Oklahoma State a chance at the title a couple of years ago. The Whedon, Justin Blackman Thursday night game.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that when they had a chance to win it with a field goal.
Of course, they did have that was the
they were playing with heavy hearts.
Night after the plane crash, but yeah.
Third game. So we're both picking OK State?
Yeah.
All right. Third game is in the Big Ten. Number 2, Michigan, 11-1, 8-1 in the Big Ten versus number 3. This can't be right. Iowa, 10-2, 7-2 in the Big Ten, 7 o'clock, Indianapolis. Fox broadcast, Michigan favored by 10.5.
I want to take Michigan, but I worry about them where their head's at
after emotional victory last week.
But you know what? I'm going to take Michigan. I'm going to look for a blowout.
If it was at home, if it was at Iowa, I should say, not in Indy, I may be more inclined to pick Iowa, but I'm going to go Michigan as well.
Okay.
We move on to the ACC championship game. Number 15, Pittsburgh, 10-2, 7-1 in the ACC versus number 16, Wake Forest, 10-2, 7-1 in the ACC. That is a 7 o'clock broadcast in Charlotte, ABC broadcast. Pitt favored by 3.5.
I'll take Pitt.
I'll take Pitt all day, baby.
All day.
And
take the over. I don't even know what the over is, but take it.
Take the over times 2. Pac-12 championship. I might throw you a curveball in this one, buddy.
Yeah.
Number 10, Oregon, 10-2, 7-2 in the Pac-12 versus number 17, Utah, 9-3, 8-1 in the Pac-12. Friday night, tonight, in Las Vegas. ABC broadcast, Utah favored by 2.5.
I'm going to take Oregon.
I am too.
Because Utah just embarrassed Oregon last time out. And if you watch that game, there's no reason to take Oregon other than, I think they actually do have a lot of talent and they were embarrassed. And so you go out trying to redeem yourself. So I'll take Oregon.
Chase in Houston, Texas in, by the way, on the A&B text line, talking about Oklahoma State. They lost to Iowa State on a controversial call on a 4th down that should have been given to them as a 1st down. There's a lot of football games in my head.
More reason to take Oklahoma State, I guess.
Yeah, much more reason. We move on in our pick 6 to the last game. And I have kind of gone back and forth in this one, but the American Athletic Conference, number 21, Houston, 11-1. 8-0 in the AAC versus number 4, Cincinnati, 12-0, 8-0, obviously as well. 3 p.m. start on ABC. Cincy favored by 10.5 points.
I'm going to take the 10.5 points and go with UH. That's a lot of points. I think UH is actually pretty good. And Cincinnati is inconsistent. Now, maybe they'll be at the very top of their game like they were against SMU. But what if they go out there and play like they did against Tulane and Tulsa and some of those other teams? And am I mistaken that UH has had a really good season?
They have. They had an early loss
to Texas Tech.
Yep, and that was not a pretty loss. But they have just rolled since then. Since that game, they destroyed Rice. Who doesn't? They destroyed Grambling. They beat Navy by 8. They beat Tulsa by 35. They beat Tulane by 18. Squeaked by Carolina, an overtime game, 31-24. They beat SMU, which was a good game, 44-37. They beat South Florida 54-52, and they destroyed Temple 37-8. I guess they have a lot more games. They beat Memphis 31-13 and UConn 45-17.
I get 10 points with them.
Yep. I'm going to take Cincy.
Okay.
I'm taking Cincy, and I know Chase is probably listening and saying, what are you taking? I love Dana Holgerson. I do. And I think he's a brilliant coach and a very good dude. But Luke Fickell being this close, I think he's going to get the first group of 5 team in the playoff. I think they're going to do it.
Who would you think should get in if it comes down to the 4th team being Oklahoma State or Cincinnati?
Oklahoma State.
They've got what? They will have 3 wins over teams in the
top 20.
Top 25.
Yep.
Yeah. Some in the top 10.
But I also have a hard time not giving Cincinnati an undefeated team with a victory over a top 5 team, or 6, right? Notre Dame. And I don't believe in Notre Dame, but that's
what
what
the numbers say that they are.
And they're playing better at the end of the year than they were early on, like a lot of teams did. So I would have a hard time not putting Cincy in there, but you can make the argument. So that's under the impression that Bama beats Georgia, correct? Because if Bama beats Georgia, Bama are going. Michigan beats Iowa, Michigan's going. That leaves only 1 spot open. If Cincinnati's undefeated, do they get in, or does Oklahoma State jump them? And I guess how convinced, and a victory over Houston would be a pretty big deal for Cincy as well, especially knowing that Houston is a ranked team and playing.
I think they beat Houston. I just think Houston, stays within 10.
Yeah.
So if it's like 34-24, I win.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't see a 2-loss team getting in. What'll be interesting is, maybe it won't be interesting if Baylor wins and Georgia wins. Michigan wins, then it's Cincinnati, Michigan, Georgia, and who? Notre Dame?
Potentially.
That's just...
But if you listen to the college football playoff representative who speaks in all those interviews, I forget his name.
Barta,
yes. He has mentioned that they will hold against you a coach not being there.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous.
Just like a player not being there.
Yeah, it's... I can understand a player, depending on who that player is, more than I can the coach.
Yeah.
But, that's stupid.
And I think it is so great that Notre Dame, I forget the gentleman's name, Freeman, that they're promoting him to head coach. He's, 35, 36 years old. Pretty much everybody's staying. And right now, Brian Kelly, to me, is a joke. Did you see
That's why I'm trying to...
The accent? I read about the accent. I was like, this dude didn't really try to have an accent. No, he absolutely tried to, not like trying to be funny. He absolutely tried to pass it off like, this is how I talk.
I'm one of y'all. Yeah, it's kind of like, James Vanderbeek trying to do the Texas accent.
Yeah.
I don't want your life. It's kind of like that from Varsity Blues. You're like, come on, dude, man.
Don't talk like that. It's embarrassing, and the more I do think you've said it on this show. I think Brian Kelly's an excellent coach. I don't know how that's going to fit. It may not matter, but I don't know how that's going to fit.
Well, like someone said that you never had a better fit at LSU than Ed Orgeron, and look how that's gone. And Nick Saban was also a Midwest guy, and
we're talking about the greatest coach maybe in any sport that we've seen in my lifetime.
I understand that, but you could have said, well, yeah, but is he going to be a fit there? Yeah. He fit fine. So the fit, we'll see. Personally, I hope it turns out to be disappointing. Mm-hmm. But, again, we'll see. I do wonder how he recruits there, if he recruits as well as – Orgeron could recruit.
Yeah, he could.
And, again, he's not the most – Kelly, he's not the most warm guy.
No. I mean, I read or I heard a story. Did you hear the story about some of his assistant coaches that are now in the NFL?
Yeah, we talked about it on the air this week.
Are we the ones who talked about it? Okay. About the valet stuff?
Yeah.
You're the one who told me. For some reason, I thought I heard that on Sarah Spain's show.
No, you probably did, and then was relaying the story to me.
But just ridiculous that, for those who don't know the story, by the way, if you weren't listening at that time, he invited a couple of assistant coaches to a Christmas party, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And they thought they were going to get to go to the party. Oh, no. They were asked to be valet parkers at his house, and they didn't get to go to the party. These are now coaches in the NFL, assistant coaches in the NFL.
Yeah, and he made a student manager or whatever go up on a real high on one of those scissor lifts in a windstorm.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And it, fell over, and the kid.
That was when
the kid passed away.
That's when we were doing shows together. That was when we were doing the rival show for Yahoo a couple years back. 9 years ago? Sound about right?
Yeah.
10 years ago. All right. We have one final segment in the Go Hour with the great OB. We will do Bank on It coming up next here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Right now, smile for whoever's sitting next to you. If you're at work, because we had a big presentation the other day, and Josh, our CFO, talked about how most of you consume a lot of our information while you're at work, which is great for us, right? So you're in a cubicle at your desk, smile at the person next to you and say, hey, can you grade my smile real quick? See what kind of response you get. If you don't get the response you want to get, you're probably not going to do that. I wouldn't do it. But it's time to get a smile upgrade. Go get some Invisalign. You got some kids that need to fix their grill? Go get it done. It's a very easy process, and Dr. Elms and Dr. Stewart get it done. They are, they're taking care of our family. They're going to take care of the little ones that are going to be getting theirs here in the next couple of years. And also, my boys, when we moved here, they had to find a place, and that's where they go. Elms Orthodontics. You've got great people over there. Dr. Troy Elms has been around, class of 86, mainstay in the community. 16-time Best of the Brazos winner. Dr. Jeremy Stewart, class of 03. They're incredible. Check them out. Get a free consultation today, 1501 Emerald Parkway in College Station. The phone number for Elms Orthodontics is 979-693-6300, or learn more online at drelms.com.
Billy Nucci assembled his version of the Avenger, David Nuno. On TexAgs Radio on the Zone.
Howdy, this is Steve Bledsoe, fighting TexAgs class of 83, with some exciting news. Veribank is now open with our new full-service location on Highway 6 in College Station. With personal bankers, business bankers, Veribank has everything you need in one convenient location. Come see for yourself, where genuine banking is waiting for you, and you can bank on it.
Visit Verabank.com today. That's VERA Bank.com. Verabank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Lance Lester at the Lester Group, Zwerneman Flooring, and The Sleep Station. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
The association, because they support so many different things and they are involved, as a student, you feel like you have somebody in your corner.
We know that Alfredo's family has never seen him march live at Kyle Field. With the help of the Association of Former Students, we're going to end that today. Alfredo's family is here with us.
To the Association of Former Students, I don't know how much I can thank you enough for giving me hope that for anything that goes wrong, something good is going to happen out of it. Whatever they do for the school, it's always going to come out with a smile on someone else's face.
To learn more about the association's impact or to make a gift, visit tx.ag/giving.
Hi, it's Jenny from your local Big Deal store. This holiday season, give a gift your friends and family will love and use. Big Deal's gift certificates spend like cash, and best of all, you're supporting local businesses. At our Big Deal store, you'll find all kinds of businesses, from restaurants to entertainment to car care. So head over to our website and start stuffing those stockings.
Save big this holiday season at AggielandBigDeals.com.
Start your sports day with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Powered by WC Tractor. Weekday mornings 5 to 8 on 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Or just tell your smart speaker to play Zone 1150. WC Tractor is your local award-winning Kubota and New Holland dealer. Call them with your questions at 1-888-8-TRACTOR. That's 1-888-8-TRACTOR. Check them out online at WCTractor.com. Rise and shine weekday mornings 5 to 8 with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin from ESPN Radio. Powered by WC Tractor here on the Zone.
And we're back, TexAgs Radio. Hey, everybody. Presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. OB here for one final segment of the Go Hour. Then Gary Blair will be joining us. We appreciate your text messages there on the A&B text line. We got one here from Dave in Tampa between Michigan, Cincy, OK State. I'm happy whoever gets in. Always good to see a team get their first playoff berth. Speaking of which, maybe next year, the good old Aggies.
Could be. I think that A&M should have started this year, but you had the key injuries. But I think A&M's at that point now where you just go into every year expecting, to be contenders.
Yep.
Not hoping, expecting to be.
Expecting to be a contender.
And thinking, well, health is always an issue for everybody. But, if you can stay healthy, you expect to be a contender. I think A&M's at that spot.
And build enough depth that if you do have injuries, outside of quarterback position, which I think affects most teams, that you can overcome. How would this defense look without Marv? And we'll find out. We'll find out real soon. But I think they've built a pretty good little depth there on the defensive side. People got to prove themselves, but I like the direction that they're going. It's time to bank on it. Presented by Vera Bank, authentic relationship-based banking built for real life. Go see Joel Jackson and the team. Learn more at verabank.com.
I'm banking on a big upset in Waco tonight. I think it's tonight. I'm banking on those College Station Cougars to beat, I think they're playing number 1 Denton Ryan. But I believe in those Cougars. I've seen them win a state championship before.
You can see them do it again.
So let's do it again. Go Cougars.
Go Cougars. All right. I'm banking on this. One that we won't be able to verify for about 365 days.
Okay.
Brian Kelly's not going to have a good year next year. LSU's going to struggle again. Now, they'll be bowl eligible, but they're not going to be this juggernaut back to being 10-2 or whatever, 11-1. I think they're going to struggle. And I think this recruiting class is always pretty good. It's going to struggle as well.
Well, if he turns some kids off with his personality and his accent, maybe they'll look elsewhere. Maybe they'll look to the west and come to College Station.
Take I-10. That drive wasn't too bad.
It's not too bad.
Wasn't bad.
Not bad at all.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
Well, you got yourself a little situation there. Yeah, no, I look, I think he's a good coach, and by proxy and just because who LSU is, the players that they're able to recruit in state, I think they're always going to be. But there's going to be there was an adjustment for Jimbo, and I think Jimbo's done a pretty nice job. There's going to be an adjustment for Brian Kelly. I forget what his record is against top team. He doesn't do well in obviously in the playoffs. He doesn't do well. Doesn't do well in some bowl games. I think it's going to take some time when you're taking on top 15 teams that eventually become out of top 15 because they keep beating each other. Like that's just part of the SEC. It's a different animal than you venture into a couple of ACC games here and there.
Well, it'll be definitely interesting to watch. But yes, he's going to have access to better players and more of them because of the lack of recruiting restrictions. But he's also going to be challenged week to week more than often than he is now playing ACC teams and Navy and USC. It's down for a while.
Yeah, Mississippi State's pretty darn good. Arkansas is pretty darn good. These are all teams that could win other conferences. Obviously, Ole Miss is really good. A&M, really good. That's just the West we're talking about.
Yeah, if you're and he's going to be in the West. If you're in the East, you can say, okay, you should never fail. What happened at Florida this year should never happen.
Never.
But because you got a lot of games that, quite frankly, you're going to be more talented. But that's not going to be the case in the West for Brian Kelly.
All right, so your final guess on radio, where and who? A&M, bowl season. Are you going to go with what the trends are saying, Gator Bowl, or you're like, Citrus Bowl it is?
I'm going to go with whatever Mark Schleybaugh said. Because, again, of all those guys, he's the one I respect the most.
I believe he had
the Citrus Bowl.
I think he had the Citrus Bowl.
I mean, it doesn't mean he's always going to be right. If you're a 380 hitter, you're not always going to get the hit. But, he's going to have a better average than most.
Well, we will have that announcement, obviously, on Sunday. We will react to it. We will get Jimbo Fisher and his thoughts on whoever the opponent is, the matchup itself, the bowl game. We'll have that for you on Sunday. Looking forward to that. OB, have a great week. Your first real weekend, you have the bye weekend, but the first real,
we got to do the Sunday Selection Sunday article interview.
Be home. You'll be home for that?
I will be home.
You'll be home for that. All right, man. Appreciate you, OB.
You bet.
Good stuff. When we come back, Gary Blair, head coach of the A&M women's basketball team, will be joining us. We'll talk about the start and the University of Texas coming up this weekend at Reed Arena on Sunday. Looking forward to chatting with him about that. We'll have a little A&M rugby afterwards with head coach James Lowry. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
The end of the tax year is near, so if you need maintenance or replacement parts for your construction equipment, WPI has you covered. Regardless of your machine's make or model, WPI can help. From custom hydraulic hoses, O-rings, and depth to teeth, buckets, and blades. Any part, filter, fluid, battery, or lighting for every brand of equipment is at your local WPI. Visit Jesse James at WPI's new location in Bryan, Highway 21 East at Marino Road, or click WPI.com.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Kasasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Kasasa or visit ANB.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Download podcast of your favorite shows, Louie, Chip, or TexAgs in the Pod Center at Zone1150.com. Subscribe and have them downloaded daily for you in the Pod Center at Zone1150.com. This is KZNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. While local economic development officials continue to recruit another expansion at College Station's Fujifilm Diosynth Biotechnologies, the BioCorridor's largest employer announces adding to its footprint in England.
FDB will build a more than $500 million facility in northern England that will complement its production of vaccines and gene therapies in College Station and in Massachusetts. Officials at the Branson Valley Economic Development Corporation say they were not competing for that project. Local efforts continue to bring a $300 million expansion that was disclosed last July during a Bryan ISD school board meeting. Also in the running for the 138,000 square foot building that would create 150 more jobs is Charlotte, North Carolina. Bill Oliver, 1620 94.5 WTAW.
Senator John Cornyn tells Texas reporters he is not among Republicans who would force a government shutdown over what he describes as the president's unconstitutional pandemic vaccination mandate.
I don't believe that this shutdown threat over funding is going to accomplish what the advocates want it to do.
Cornyn says all 50 Republicans have endorsed a resolution that could be voted on next week to eliminate the OSHA mandate. A College Station woman who admitted committing a residential burglary in College Station almost 6 years ago agreed this week to serve a 2-year prison sentence. 23-year-old Quenisha Ross was 17 at the time of the burglary. She admitted this week to probation violations that included failing to submit to drug and alcohol tests 38 times and failing to get a GED degree. Entering the final 2 days of the first week of early voting in the College Station City Council runoff election, the turnout is 384 out of more than 57,000 registered voters. Early voting continues today and tomorrow from 8 until 5, then next Monday and Tuesday from 7 until 7, and next Wednesday through Friday from 8 until 5. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Christmas in the Park is returning to College Station Stephen C. Beachy Central Park from 6 to 10 p.m. on December 3rd and 4th. Come enjoy hay rides, cookies and chocolate milk, live entertainment, actual snow slides, photos with Santa and reindeer, adopt a holiday Parks Pal, arts and crafts, and more. Every night through the New Year's, enjoy the 1 million lights that bring Central Park to life. Visit cstx.gov/Christmas for all Christmas in the Park details, including parking, shuttles, and the full event schedule. That's cstx.gov/Christmas.
Howdy, y'all. This is Cullen Gillespie, former 12th man. I've always tried to help my team on and off the field, and now I'd like to help Texas A&M fans like you cut their electricity bills in half. Yep, in half. It takes less than 5 minutes and you'll save hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars every year. 90% of Texans overpay for electricity, so don't be one of them. Sign up today at energyogre.com and use code GILLY, G-I-L-L-Y, for a free month of service.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hilcosupply.com. Texas A&M Track and Field opens up its season today at the Woo Pig Classic at the University of Arkansas. The Aggie men and women are slated to compete against nearly a dozen teams, including the hometown Razorbacks, Texas, TCU, and Oklahoma State. Competition gets underway at 3 o'clock at the Randall Tyson Track Center. Number 18 men's swimming hits the road today to take on Incarnate Word in San Antonio. The Maroon and White are fresh off a second-place showing at the Art Adamson Invitational 2 weeks ago. Competition gets underway at 3 o'clock. Time for a look at the SEC, brought to you by T-Mobile. The SEC Championship football game is set for tomorrow as top-ranked Georgia and number 3 Alabama meet up in Atlanta. It'll mark the 4th time that Nick Saban and former assistant Kirby Smart have gone head-to-head, with the former winning all 3 of the previous meetings. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. at Mercedes-Benz Stadium with coverage right here on The Zone. And that's been your SEC Sneak Peek, brought to you by T-Mobile, the official 5G sponsor of the SEC. And 17th-ranked Texas A&M women's basketball is back at Reed Sunday for a showdown with number 14 Texas. Tip-off is at 3 p.m. on 1620, 94.5 WTAW. And that's been your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
On Sports Talk, Chip visited with Lana Wood, the sister of actress Natalie Wood, who died mysteriously 40 years ago. Wood's husband, actor Robert Wagner, remains a person of interest on the case.
RJ was brought in for them to talk to, find out what happened. He was interrogated, if you want to use that word, for exactly 6 minutes, and then he was logged out.
Sports Talk, the truth is out there. Weekdays 4 to 6 on The Zone.
Hello, everybody. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Hour number 2 here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We're joined by the great Gary Blair here in studio. Coach Blair, good morning to you, sir.
It's a good morning. Just wait for the train to get by, and we get right across the street to TexAgs.
Well, thank you so much for coming by. A lot to talk to you about. Obviously, a huge weekend, but I do want to start off with one thing. I know that last night you were working, but I heard your conversation with Dalton. You were kind of splitting time between one eye maybe on that Cowboys game.
It was actually 3 eyes because I had the Cowboys game, I was watching women's basketball, and then after that game, then I watched the LSU Iowa State game.
Right.
And so, rooting for my SEC. Now we're 3-0 against the Big 12, and but at the same time, it was just a good night of basketball and sports. So I got home, sat down, turned the TV set on, and then did homework after that.
Yeah. So how much sleep do you get?
About 5 hours.
Is that enough?
5.5. It works for me.
Yeah.
And I get up at 6:45, go out and get my Eagle, read the paper, and watch the local news and Good Morning America, and then I'm on my way.
You a Strahan guy? You like Michael Strahan on there?
Oh, I like Michael Strahan. I like Laura, but I like Robin Roberts more than all of them.
She's great.
She's a former basketball player at Southeast Louisiana.
She is great. I obviously remember her time from ESPN as well. All right, let's talk Sunday. Apparently a rival's coming to town. Is that right? The University of Texas here on Sunday.
Folks, whatever sport, whatever thing in life, it's a rivalry game. Auburn and Alabama, USC, UCLA, Georgia, Florida, whatever. This is rivalry. And I'm really looking forward to it because we need to measure ourselves before we get to conference. We're 7-0 or 8-0 right now. I'm trying to remember what we are, but at the same time, by far, this is the best team we will have played so far. Texas is very good. He's deep, and he's got outstanding speed that puts a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah, he does. He absolutely does. I remember, I guess it was 6 weeks ago, the A&M women's volleyball team took on Texas, and that was an electric atmosphere.
Right.
I expect a huge one there, and we need people to come out.
Folks, I can't tell you, this is what I call no excuse Sunday. The Cowboys have already played. The Aggies are not playing. It's time to come out. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so there's plenty of time for church, a good Sunday out meal at one of our great restaurants, and then come to the ball game. And then you still got time for Yellowstone. They'll come on at 7 o'clock at night.
I have not started Yellowstone yet. Everybody tells me I've got to get on that.
You got to go back to season 1.
Right.
You got to read you can't go to the end of the book.
No. I don't want to hear anything. So when I see it on social media or people, I walk out because I know I'm going to catch up at some point, but I have not started.
Well, I'm recruiting Beth to be on my team next year.
Okay.
That's the star of the show, I think.
All right.
Beth.
All right. What's Ozark? You watch Ozark as well?
I've watched a little bit of everything during COVID.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that can get my mind away from basketball. I'm a movie buff or I'm a Netflix buff.
Yeah.
And that's why I only get 5 hours of sleep.
I see that. So let's do this. We got a couple of let's do 2 4-packs. How's that sound?
That's fine.
Let's come up with a trivia question on the A&B text line, 979-693-1150. The first 2 people to answer. What you got a question?
I've got a question. We beat Texas at Texas last year.
Okay.
Right before that, 2 different coaches, but we lost 4 in a row. But before that, starting in about 2009, we won how many games in a row versus Texas?
Okay.
It's the all-time record for A&M over Texas, but how many games did we beat them in a row?
The first 2 people on our A&B text line to answer that question at 979-693-1150 will get the 2 4-packs. The only thing is you got to be able to come to TexAgs studio before we close at 5 o'clock. So we'll have 2 4-packs. Get that in. Let's talk about your relationship with Vic, how you guys met, how you guys have worked together in the past, and what, I guess having somebody that you respect and know on the other end of a rivalry kind of makes it special in multiple ways.
I was head coach at Stephen F. Austin, and he was the head coach at Sam Houston State. And basically, we met each other for the first time. Our Converse rep, who we had at the time, set us up to play golf, and he played with us. And it was over there at Lake Walden or somewhere over there, and I went out, and here Vic comes with polyester pants on with glasses, those sunshades with a little thing that you hang there, sort of like your microphone thing, long pants on a hot summer day, and we played golf and just really had a great friendship. He was talking about building his program at Sam Houston, and at the time I was trying to sustain a top 20 program at Stephen F. But we hit it off right there, and then 4 years later, he was still there. I was at Arkansas. My assistant coach had moved on to Colorado State, and he was the first person I called and thought of. And then 15 years later, Final Four at Arkansas, a national championship at A&M. We're still friends, but he's a little bit better than me on the golf course now.
Is that right?
Yeah. He's a little bit better, but he's a little bit younger. That's my excuse.
Is there any more significance because this is your final season and, because you guys are friends or does my question even make sense?
Not so much. Vic and I, we would love to play each other again, and that would be the NCAA tournament when it counted, Sweet 16, Elite 8, or Final Four. We hope that this isn't the last game. The other thing is the game is not about Vic and Gary. It's about the rivalry of Texas and A&M in every sport. And I want people to come out and enjoy it. Keep your eyes away from Vic and I. Watch those two teams on the court because it's going to be a great basketball game, and we're going to need every one of you. I'm even going to need all those Longhorn fans to get out of Austin, come down here, and be here to watch a great match.
So I got a text message during the show right now from Tom Turberville, a good friend. He says, fun fact, Robin Roberts will always hold the record for the number of rebounds at G. Raleigh White Coliseum, men or women. He thinks it's around 18.
Wow.
There you go. We were talking about Robin Roberts earlier, and good old Tom listening chimes in with that.
Well, Tom is a historian himself. I mean, he's part of history. He's probably been here almost as long or longer than Dave South was.
Yeah, I just saw Dave South a couple of days ago. So let's talk about the start of this season. I think it's been a year since you guys have lost a non-conference game. You guys are playing really good basketball. Tell me a little bit about the start, what you're seeing from your team, some trends.
First, we played good competition. We haven't played top 10 competition like Texas. Okay, it doesn't matter if we're 14 or 15 or what. Texas is a top 10 ball club and will be at the end of the year. We've played that next level. The teams that are 6-1 are undefeated. When we played the South Dakotas, who will win their league, and the Stephen F. Austins, the DePauls, the Northwesterns, those teams will all be in the NCAA. What we need to do is measure ourselves against that top 10. Texas has already played at Stanford and won against defending national championship, and they lost closely at Tennessee. Good for our league. You grow up in those games. You grow up in the film room before and after the games, correcting your mistakes, find the schemes that will work against the Texas or the LSUs or the Tennessees or whoever we're playing.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So I do want to ask you, I know you talked a little bit about it post-game, but just matching Shelby the other night and just your relationship with Shelby, what it means for you in this great university.
I lived around the corner from Shelby. We always called Park Meadows where I lived when I first moved in. I had a garden home, and he had a nice house 2 blocks away. And we would walk our dogs about 10 o'clock at night. And he would always stop me and, Coach, now you fish, don't you? And I'd say, no, I don't have the patience. I play a little golf. And then he'd start talking fishing stories. And I learned to shut up and listen. When Shelby talks, it was like back in the era when you had Abe Lemons and Nolan Richardson and Jim Haller, and you had Shelby. Those were characters, okay? They were not as businesslike as a lot of people that are in coaching now. It was all about how they talked, how they coached, how they related to people around their town and their school.
That's exactly right. And for you, is it going to take maybe some time to kind of just reflect on what you've been able to do?
I think so. Each day, I'm constantly thinking, what have I not done besides wins and losses that I can do to give back to my team, my former players, the people that I've met along the way, my mentors, and everything. Right before your show, you were talking about a 12th man in the band. And the 12th Man Association, this was an ad, I guess. The parents had never seen their son march in the band at Kyle Field. And I thought that was the greatest thing that I heard this morning on sports, not about the guy from Notre Dame trying to imitate a Southerner. That was the worst Southerner I've ever heard. He's never had any fried green tomatoes or fried okra in his life. But I listened to that, and that's what we do. We give back. And I'm challenging everybody out there now. Let's go, particularly during Christmas time, should be a giving time. For those people that might be a little homeless, a little down in their luck, let's fill up the food banks. Let's give a turkey away. Let's put a toy under a tree. Let's do all those little things that we can do to help as the little person ourselves. And that's what I want to see, what happens. That's what I'm reflecting back on.
That is a perfect answer, Coach. I appreciate that. Let me ask you about Kayla this year and the impact that she's having.
Kayla has, I think, taken her game to another gear because she's taken an inventory of her strengths and her minuses. There's not too many minuses. She's more physical this year. She's going to the basket more. She's concentrating on not how many shots she gets up, but the percentage of shots. That's why she's one of the leading field goal shooters in the league. Her threes are up. She always shoots 80%. Her defense is getting better. She would like to play in the next level, just like Leal's going out to the NFL. Well, this kid wants to go to the WNBA. But to do that, she's got to put up not the scoring in the 20s, but knowing how to score at every time. She's doing it with her communication skills by up there with ESPN or Pat Lowry, who's an Aggie grad, has set her up in a lot of opportunities to use that degree from A&M. And she's going to be playing somewhere next year. I hope to be able to see her play wherever she is.
I heard some crying in the background. What'd you do, Brandon? Hey, and Gary, one last thing I want to talk about is kind of on the Kayla track. The greats always work on what they're not great at, don't they? They find a way to not only improve what they're really good at, but they work on their deficiencies.
I was saying the same thing to one of my young kids yesterday who's not in the starting lineup, but working on her game. She's a little bit young. And I said, what was Kobe's best thing? The word until. Until I get this move right, I'm going to keep working on it. Until I can't miss, because I'm going to miss. Until I get this thing right. Even out in the world that we live in today, until I get this homework right, without having to check back at the end of the book to see what it is and then throw in that word or something. Until we can master a trade, stay in it. Until you can be the next Tony Romo and you're going to call the next football game nationally or something. That's what we should all work on, is the improvement of ourself, not patting ourselves on the back, but how can we improve? There's a thing above my TV. Today I gave everything I had. What I kept, I've lost forever. And we all backslide. But until I master something, I want to stay with it. And my next until, beat Texas on Sunday.
I love it, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. As always, remember, we got those tickets here. We'll check the A&B text line here momentarily. But right now, Milliken Reserve, a farm-to-table community in College Station. They've got homes, they've got trails, they've got farms, they've got wide open spaces. And their mission is to build a healthy community. Love that area. Go all the time. Once a week, we go pick up our vegetables from there. But I just like to look at it. The homes are beautiful. The trees are beautiful. They've got so much going on there at Milliken Reserve, from the hiking, the biking, the camping, the kayaking, the equestrian trails, the evening yoga, the summer camps, the music festivals. The list goes on and on. And I'm telling you guys, go check it out. If you're living out of town and you're like, I want to get back to the Brazos Valley area, that's where you need to go look. Milliken Reserve, millikenreserve.com.
This is the Zone 1150 and 93.7. You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Presented by Polaris Fun Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country. And Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Polaris Fun Center, where you can get a $500 rebate on any 450 or 570 Model A TV. Or $2,000 cash back on a Polaris XP1000. Polaris Fun Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC. And you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays from 2 to 4 on the Zone.
This Christmas, hope marches on. The Salvation Army, in partnership with Bryan Broadcasting, present Angel Tree. You can support a local child in need by adopting an angel from the angel trees located in the Post Oak Mall food court, all Blue Baker restaurants, or online at salvationarmybcs.org. Select your angel, shop for their gifts, and return them with the angel tag attached by December 13th. Through your support, hope marches on. For more information or to volunteer, visit salvationarmybcs.org.
People join Walk MS to raise awareness and funds that change the world for everyone affected by multiple sclerosis. MS attacks the brain and spinal cord. It's the most common neurological disease leading to disability in young adults. Walk MS brings communities together, creating teams with friends, loved ones, and coworkers to rally around those we care about and end MS forever. Join us. Together we are stronger. Walk MS fundraising accelerates research breakthroughs and life-changing breakthroughs. It will take all of our passion, determination, and fundraising to end MS forever. Together, we can change the world for people with MS. Join us. Register today, start a team, and raise funds at walkms.org.
If you missed the Louis Bellina Show, you missed A&M soccer head coach G. Guerreri live inside the Charles Schwab studio.
Why you came to A&M?
Well, I had just married an Aggie. That helped. And
I'm sure you got a lot of encouragement from that area.
Well, I think that was a big part of my push to get here was, I know how Aggies take care of Aggies. And even from the outside looking in, I knew that, the love that the former students had for the place is unparalleled. And I always thought that, if A&M wanted to start a program, is a soccer program, that we have the ability in our state to put together a really good roster. And that was part of the thing. Lynn Hickey and John David Crow took a chance on me, and here I am going into our 30th year this coming year.
Listen in to me, Louis Bellina, weekdays 11 to 2, thanks to T-Mobile, the official 5G sponsor of the SEC.
Coldplay in the house, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Our thanks to Gary Blair, who just finished his segment with us. And now we move on to Coach Lowry, Texas A&M Rugby. And I thought it was awesome to see you two guys chatting together. Yeah. All right. And Coach Blair is like showing the snap and like running plays, and you guys were going back and forth. And he told me something I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
He said, explain to David the different types of rugby, because it depends where you play, how the game is a little different.
Wonderful. So, rugby union is what we play at A&M.
Okay.
Came from England. So it's ball you can pass, similar shape, oval ball. Sorry, torpedo-like ball where you can throw it laterally and behind you. You got rugby league, which is also English. It's very similar to where the fall down fall downs came from, to which eventually eventuated in American football, is that you can run, get tackled, and you play the ball between your legs individually.
Okay.
And then rugby Aussie rules, which you might be alluding to, is like Gaelic football. It's one big giant stadium where you kick the ball to each other. You can't pass it with your hands. You have to kick it. So it's a huge stadium, and you can kick it, and you can still take each other out with your shoulders.
So Gary was telling us, obviously, that they're playing against Texas this weekend, and you were playing against who?
Baylor.
And what's going to happen this weekend? Tell me the situation. What time? Where can we see it all?
So 1 p.m. kickoff, sharp, at Penberthy Intramural Sports, down the road there. It'll be ranked 21 and 22 in the country, and probably the top 2 teams in the conference. It is also a recruiting weekend. We have 22 recruits coming from all over the state, including a couple out of state, including their parents. So we really want to put on a good show and make sure that these guys wear maroon when they start their college career.
Help me understand how the recruiting works there with club rugby as opposed to what we may think about when we're talking about A&M football recruiting. Like it's kind of a different animal. You have to not explain, but there's a recruiting process, and also there's a financial commitment as well.
Absolutely. I guess it's kind of the theme of the week with all these big hires in college football, right? We wish we had some of that luxury, but it's more these guys are smart. They come from a demographic that can get into these schools. But the mitigating factor is that they're probably an athlete as well, and they want to go to a competitive program that offers them an alternative to just becoming an academic student. So if they want to go to Texas or Baylor or Tech or any other schools in Texas, or even LSU, competitive academic programs outside Texas, but they love rugby, and a lot of these guys grew up playing rugby for the last 5-6 years, which is wonderful. We want to be that shining program that says, look, we can get a world-class degree at A&M, which have alumni network second to none, and you can compete on a national level at rugby, at club, and that's what we kind of do.
I was trying to look through your schedule, and I feel like you guys are on the road a lot. Is that because of scheduling? Is there any particular reason, or am I wrong?
No, it's because we're probably, if not the most organized club in Texas. I'd say one of the better organized clubs in the country. So there's a big emphasis on culture and our young men running the program. The reason why we're on the road is because we have the resources to do so. So in the latter part of the spring, we get to stay home on our home turf and play at home. So it suits us. So we don't mind doing the hard work and traveling to teams that are trying to get organized. And once they're organized, we get to play at home. So we get to stay at home on our home turf and invite family and friends to come watch us play at A&M.
So explain because this is your last home game for 2021, and then you guys play again in the spring.
Correct.
But are they the same season, or are they two different seasons?
It's home and away in the conference.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when does that start up again?
Our first game is the 29th of January.
Okay.
So
little break,
straight back into it.
And you guys practice in between, obviously, to get ready.
Yeah, still have a program to work over the break, so they get to enjoy, beat the hell out of their academics, as it were, and then enjoy their break because we want them to have a balanced life. And then start a preseason. We'll probably get back a week early, and then shake off the rust, and then get straight back into the season. So
break down this Baylor game for us. If you come out, what you already told us the rankings, but tell us about the matchup itself. So the person with the most points, the team with the most points, wins the conference. It used to be head-to-head with the playoff, but a few teams dropped out. So if we get on top, we've beaten everyone else by a difference of 200 points. So if we can get this W, we have one hand on the conference trophy, which puts us in the top 16 playoffs in the country in the spring. So that's our goal, but we just want to get the job done this weekend, and then we can start saying those things. Who would you say is your biggest rival in the conference? Baylor. Baylor for sure. So this is the big one right here. Yeah. We don't want to give them too much credence. We just worry about what we can control, and we do that well, and I think we'll be just fine. So if fans want to come out and be a part of this, a lot of great action here, Old Southwest Conference action with the women's basketball team playing, obviously, and you guys as well against Baylor. Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. So we're Penberthy, correct?
Penberthy, 1 p.m.
1 p.m. All right, Coach Lowry, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, David.
Appreciate you guys. Right now, I want you to go to AggielandOutfitters.com. I think this 20% off deal for TexAgs listeners is going to last 5 more seconds, 20 more seconds, a couple days. Who knows? So you need to jump on it right now. When you go there, look at all their awesome gear. They got A&M gear. They've got just gear from all over the place. They got the best material. All that stuff. But the main thing I'm trying to tell you is with the holidays right around the corner, you want to save some money. You want to get some great Aggie gear. You want to go to the bowl game in a great gear. You want to go to the rugby game in great gear. Go to Aggieland Outfitters. Your entire purchase will get 20% off. All you have to do is type in TexAgs21 there at checkout, and you're going to get yourself hooked up. And let me tell you guys, you can buy some great stuff there, save a lot of money, and just come away feeling like, man, I got this really expensive sweater or hoodie for this. Yeah, jump on it, guys. TexAgs21 is the code to do in checkout. It is Aggieland Outfitters.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. Kick off your holiday season by coming to watch the Bryan High Viking Theater perform their annual radio show. Performances are Thursday through Saturday. Find showtimes and purchase your tickets at bhsvikingtheater.com. The Brazos County ESD #1 Board of Commissioners and the South Brazos County Fire Department invite you to a recognition ceremony of Jim Carroll for his donation of the land for Fire Station #4 this Saturday morning at 10. Every Saturday, the Arts Council of Brazos Valley is hosting ornament decorating parties from 1 to 4 p.m. Visit their website for more information. After a year like no other, you can be part of a new beginning for girls when you volunteer with Girl Scouts. Learn more at gsctx.org/volunteer. Listen to